HHS bans illegal immigrants from public health benefits, full update. In a bold move, the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, has revoked the interpretation of the 1998 Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act PRWORA, which previously permitted undocumented immigrants to access a range of public health benefits. This decision comes after nearly 3 decades of federal health officials allowing undocumented individuals to receive taxpayer-funded health care under the Act. But here's where it gets controversial. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. argues that the new interpretation aligns more closely with the original intent of the law. Secretary Kennedy asserts that the previous interpretation of the law had encouraged illegal immigration by diverting hard-earned tax dollars towards undocumented immigrants, instead of prioritizing American citizens and legal residents. By rectifying this, the HHS aims to restore the integrity of federal social programs, enforce the rule of law, and safeguard crucial resources for the American people. As we navigate this contentious issue, let us pray. Asterisk for Secretary Kennedy, seeking wisdom in ensuring that taxpayer funding is allocated to cover U.S. citizens and legal immigrants. Asterisk for government health officials, as they evaluate federal benefits and program coverage, to make decisions that honor both compassion and justice. Sources: Department of Health and Human Services, The Hill. And this is the part most people miss. While many applaud the HHS's move as a necessary step towards fairness and accountability, others argue that denying healthcare to undocumented immigrants could lead to a public health crisis. What are your thoughts on this matter? Share your views in the comments section below. California sues Trump over undocumented immigrant benefit restrictions. Imagine a move so contentious that it pits state governments against the highest levels of federal authority. That's exactly what's happening as California, alongside a coalition of other progressive states, takes on the Trump administration in a legal battle over access to essential public benefit programs for undocumented immigrants. At the heart of this lawsuit lies a claim that these new restrictions aren't just harmful, they're illegal, targeting some of society's most vulnerable, working mothers and their children. But here's where it gets controversial. While critics decry the policy as cruel and discriminatory, supporters argue it protects American citizens and deters unlawful immigration. The Trump administration has rolled out sweeping changes that bar undocumented immigrants from accessing more than a dozen federally funded programs designed to provide critical support. Among these is Head Start, a program that offers child care, nutritional assistance, and health services to roughly 800,000 low-income infants, toddlers, and preschoolers nationwide. Other affected initiatives include emergency shelters during extreme weather events, domestic violence survivor support, food banks, Meals on Wheels for seniors, mental health care, substance abuse treatment, and adult education opportunities. California Attorney General Rob Bonta minced no words when he described the administration's actions as a cruel reversal of nearly 3 decades of precedent. Since 1997, states have been allowed to extend these benefits to undocumented families, and according to Bonta, this abrupt shift will place an enormous financial burden on already strained systems. Programs will now need to allocate time and resources to verify citizenship or immigration status, a costly endeavor for services operating on tight budgets. This isn't about waste, fraud, or abuse, Bonta emphasized. It's about taking away vital childcare, healthcare, nutrition, and educational support that millions depend on. He added that the impact in California, home to one of the largest immigrant populations in the country, would be both immediate and devastating. But let's pause for a moment. Is there another side to this story? The White House certainly thinks so. In defending the changes, President Trump's team argues they are fulfilling a core campaign promise, putting Americans first. Abigail Jackson, a White House spokesperson, stated that many U.S. citizens rely on government-funded resources to rebuild their lives. When undocumented individuals access those same resources, she contended, it comes at the expense of Americans who desperately need them. Supporters of the policy also point to broader concerns. They believe extending benefits to undocumented immigrants incentivizes illegal immigration, drains taxpayer dollars, and makes it harder for citizens to access services. Early in his presidency, Trump issued an executive order titled Ending Taxpayer Subsidization of Open Borders. This directive mandated federal agencies to review their benefit programs and tighten restrictions for non-citizens, citing the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996 as justification. According to the administration, previous administrations had undermined the intent of this law by allowing exemptions for certain life or safety programs now being restricted. Federal agency leaders echoed this sentiment. Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., Secretary of Health and Human Services, claimed the changes restore integrity to federal social programs and protect taxpayer investments. Similarly, Education Secretary Linda McMahon framed the restrictions as safeguarding career and technical education programs for American workers. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer doubled down, saying the measures secure borders and reaffirm commitments to lawful immigration practices. Interestingly, not all departments are subject to the same level of scrutiny in the lawsuit. For instance, while the Department of Agriculture announced new limits on benefits like SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the state's legal challenge doesn't directly address USDA policies due to existing statutes requiring certain benefits to be available regardless of citizenship status. Joining California in the fight are attorneys general from Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington, Wisconsin, and the District of Columbia. Together, they argue that the administration's actions were arbitrary, lacked proper notice, and will cost states hundreds of millions annually. So, where do you stand on this issue? Do you agree with critics who see these measures as an attack on vulnerable communities? Or do you side with the administration, believing they're protecting American interests? This debate raises important questions about fairness, fiscal responsibility, and national identity, and your voice matters. Share your thoughts in the comments below.